I didn't have the microphone on.
Good job.
Yes. You can tell why I'm not a paid camera guy. Okay, as I was saying, how do you know your car wants new brake pads? It starts spitting them at you.
Make an interesting ting when it throws it too. Although I did shoot it for throwing a shoe.
Okay, would you shoot at the bird? Alrighty, so what are we doing today?
Alright, today I'm going to start replacing the struts and the brakes, front brakes.
Okay.
So, going to be strutting our stuff and putting on some new shoes.
Awesome. Not that it needs new brakes or anything. You're always supposed to have metal shavings on your rotors when you go driving, right?
Oh yeah. As long as you're still making metal shavings, you're fine. What you get when the cylinder locks out.
Please tell me we got a new rotor in amongst our goodie bag over here.
Oh yeah. New cylinders, new rotors, new pads.
Alrighty.
All new.
What you've seen the last couple of videos, you've seen us show off the difference between new and old and explain. Always check your parts to make sure they match the parts you're pulling off. So.
Yeah, and the fun thing of just because the box was listed to be the one when you order multiple parts, make sure that the parts didn't get mixed up.
Yes.
That one looks like the right one for this vehicle, and I know this one's the right one for this vehicle because it didn't fit the Buick.
Which we should get the brakes upgraded in the Buick.
I'm just glad they work again.
Oh no, I got a whole master plan now. Redoing the brakes, redoing the suspension system, and then putting a nice supercharger on the engine, upping the horsepower. No reaction from him.
I'm busy trying to figure out if this is right or left or if it matters.
Okay.
Because I've got two different boxes, two different part numbers, and I can't remember what's what. This is what happens when you get snowed in for 3 months and then you get to work on a vehicle.
Yes.
One thing interesting is that one's made in America and this one's made in China.
Oh man. If the Chinese-made caliper outlasts the American-made caliper, we're in trouble.
Which is interesting because this is a Korean car. Korean car, one caliper's made in America, one's made in China. Nothing's made in Korea.
It's a remanufactured.
And this is new. That's a reman, I guess, and this is a brand new one.
So which one do you think's gonna last longer?
No clue.
Knowing you, it's whichever one you decide to go randomly off-roading at 60 miles an hour.
It's making me question whether or not I want to turn in the driver's side one for a core. I think these are interchangeable. I think right and left are the same.
Well, we'll take them off. We'll compare.
25. Nope, that's 2587. That's 2586. I think this one is right. This one was right because this is the one I thought was the Buick one. I think, or was it this one I thought was the Buick one? I think this was the one I thought was the Buick one.
Oh, it says remand on this one too, right there.
Yeah.
They're both remanufactured. Who does a better job remanufacturing? By the way, CarQuest not a sponsor. Although, if you want to give us free parts, we are never going to complain about that.
Nope. Because I think B and odd number is driver's side, I believe. Because the brake was odd number on the Buick where the confusion happened. So.
Okay. It could very well be.
So that should be the driver's side one. And this should be the passenger side one. If it don't go on, then I know it's not the right one. I know when I picked them up, the Buick one came with one of the... The Buick one came with one of the ones for the Kia, and the other Kia one was by itself.
Oh, Lord.
So That was interesting.
Had parts in the wrong boxes. That's never a good sign.
I said the rotors are the same for both sides, so
Well, you would hope.
you never know.
I mean, why would... I don't want to know. Never mind.
Lock screws normally, if they have lock points on them or something like that, sometimes they're different on different sides.
Okay.
If it's a simple disc, normally there's not really anything to it. If it's a more complicated setup for locking, then it could be, matter.
Yeah.
Alright.
You just jacking the car up right now?
Yeah, not looking forward to it.
Okay, so we've all seen this bit, right?
Another great use for a pry when you lose your jack handle. My defense, this jack has been in a lot of places. It's moved a lot.
I was just thinking, Crazy Karl Projects, the only channel on YouTube where you'll ever see 1,001 uses for a screwdriver that does not include actually using it to drive screws.
They're very useful.
Okay, and this is going to be fixed, and I got you. Don't worry. Cameraman powers. Ready? You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Go.
Do what?
Go. See there? I told you I'd get it up in the air for you.
Yeah, but I forgot to take a bolt off first. I got to get new bolts for the hubs I got, the manual ones.
Yes.
They come with everything but the bolts and screws you need for it. Hey, this came off easily, so it still worked. I've got to get short ones that are not bolts. They've got to be screws because you can't get a socket in there on the new ones. So, but I got some manual lockers for the front because I couldn't find rebuild kits or replacement for the automatic ones. So, though I may still try to rebuild them at some point, but I need something a lot shorter that has a screw head, probably a torque head. They actually did a good job on putting that in, though. They knew you were going to be working on these because they put anti-seize stuff on the bolts. Thank you, Kia.
Yeah. Thank you, Kia, whoever did this, because this car is 22 years old.
I don't think this thing has ever been taken off because I just took paint off of it, taking it off. So, yeah. But that's never come off.
I'm still going to say, or whoever's done that. I'll just include both.
But
previous owners into it.
now it's just remove the wheel. Next step.
Yes.
Once again, magic.
Yes. 3, 2. No, look at me. Look at me.
Why
3,
am I gonna look at you? I'm
2,
busy.
1, go. See there? Told you I can get it off for you.
You just like filling the back of my head.
Well, you're wearing a hat today. I can't make fun of your bald spot.
Let's see.
Shock's a little blown out. You see water and moisture there. You think you know how to do it?
Yeah, I know. The top part's gonna be easy. The fork is kind of weird. I just need knuckles because it's back underneath stuff, and I don't feel like taking everything apart, and I've got all kinds of knuckles to deal with it.
Okay, where's it at? Point it out to me, please.
Okay, the top mount
Yes.
are those 3 screws right there with that where that bolt sticks out.
Okay.
That center bolt doesn't come out.
Right. So yeah. So I see right there. Not exactly where I had my finger at, but
Here's the new
right
one,
there.
and it comes with nice new lock bolts, which is nice.
Okay.
But-
Cool.
And then I'm working out. It's got a weird. I haven't dealt with one with that kind of fork before, and I'm trying to work that out right now. And it's interesting because the brake line's held in it too. I don't think I've ever blown a shock out that bad. Because it's blown the top out of it and the bottom out of it.
You blew it, but good.
At least it's thoroughly dead. The red fluid you're seeing is transfer case fluid. Yeah, that's oil.
Where's that coming from? Is it coming from?
Head gasket. Not head gasket, but the main junction gasket. So where the engine and the transmission meet.
Yeah. That's something you can do out of your garage, or is that going to go to?
That's going to cost more than the car's worth.
Oh, okay.
So I just keep filling the fluids up. because it's not a bad leak, it's just a slow leak. It's been sitting for 6 months, and half of the leak is just the fact that since it's tilted now in a different direction, everything that built up in the cross members is leaking out. It's still just a slow leak, and it's one of those you'd have to remove the entire drivetrain, break it all down, replace all the seals. On an $800 car, it's not worth doing all that work.
So yeah.
But yeah, that's been sitting out for a while, so it's not leaking very fast.
Yeah, just keep an eye on the fluids and...
Yeah, well, I know that when I changed everything, I topped everything off and changed everything, and it hadn't hardly lost anything, so...
Yeah.
It looks worse than it is. And I'm going to try using some... Well, I've been trying to use some Lucas stuff, and I'm going to try some of the other seal stuff.
Yeah.
Not the stuff with the metal shavings in it. You don't want to use that. That's a last ditch, and it destroys whatever you use it in. It might make it stop leaking for a little while, but it destroys it. But some of the other stuff has additives in it that are supposed to make seals swell and reseal. And some of those work, some of those don't.
Mm.
If worse comes to worse, I can always use heavier gear oil in it.
True. It ain't at the era of where that will ruin anything yet.
Nope. That's interesting. That's half eat away. Look at how... It's gone.
We got some problems.
I don't know. The hard part's going to be getting this off because that piston shot out and locked. And it's not going to go back because it's yeah. So this is going to be interesting getting off.
Well, good news is you don't have to keep that part in one piece at least.
No, it's probably going to be... I wonder if I can still get my core trade in after 3 months.
Probably not, no.
I don't know. If I can, I can. If I can, I can. Yeah. You see the adjuster? That boot's supposed to be over that, and it's pushed so far out that that's gone, and it's locked. So I'm probably going to take the adjusters off to get this to let go. Oh, this is going to be fun. I need more tools. No, these are 14 for the, well, that's not the right one. For the shocks, nope, yep, they're 14. They're just really dirty. So shock mount ones down the bottom are 14. Are those 17? Yep, the adjusters were 17.
Okay.
And then the actual mounts are 19.
Which is...
this big bolt here.
Yes, that's a 19. Okay.
So.
Alrighty-o.
Also, this seems to be a trick that people don't know. How to use a bigger wrench with a wrench as a breaker bar. It's a lifesaver, though it is really rough on your handles. That's why that's wrapped in tape. Don't really recommend using it with your good ratchets, but I don't have a breaker bar. Well, I do, but I broke it.
So you broke your breaker bar.
I just thought of that after I said that. Yes, I broke the breaker bar.
Did you break your breaker bar doing brakes?
Actually, no. I don't know what I broke it with. I don't remember. It's been a long time. I think it involved a Chevy pickup. Or a Jeep. No, it was a Jeep. I broke it on a Wrangler. I broke it on my old Wrangler, my 03 Wrangler. Trying to get a pitman arm off. Which was a little bent, and I gave up on getting the bent pitman arm off because I broke 2 wrenches and a breaker bar and a socket, and it didn't budge. So I accepted that while it was bent, it was still solid. So I just adjusted the suspension, the tracker, so the wheel was more accurate.
This before or after you ran over the Honda?
I think it got bent from the Honda, and they didn't replace it. And when I went to replace all the cross members, these things, the stabilizers, I noticed it was bent, and I went to replace it because it's a cheap part, and could not get it off. I broke a gear pull, a breaker bar, a socket wrench, a regular wrench, and the wrench I was using as a cheat on the regular wrench. I actually folded them over. I still probably have them sitting somewhere. They weren't completely broken to be unusable. They were just bent all to bits. They are no longer wrench shaped.
So are you using them as prize now too?
I think I was. I think I took them to scrap metal finally. Because I don't know what happened to them. I'll probably find them when I finally get my garage cleaned out again.
I was going to say, we'll find them 2 years later when you get your garage cleaned out.
They're probably sitting on the workbench back there. The breaker bar, I've actually using the bar for stuff. I just never got a new adjuster for it.
That does not surprise me.
It's hanging on the wall. It actually became, it's very wonderful as a belt tensioner release on a Sunfire, 2002 Sunfire. That's become its primary job.
So if you have a 2002 Sunfire and a broken breaker bar, now you know what you could use it for.
I think I broke it loose. Either that or I broke the socket.
Or you broke your hand?
No. Hand's okay.
Okay, good.
My elbow's not happy.
Your elbow's never happy.
My elbow hadn't been happy in a year. There we go. Yep, I broke it loose. What's funny is the leaks have quit dripping now. Yep. Everything has drained off of where it was hiding when it was leaning the other way, parked for 3 months. Now here comes the wondrous question, will it release?
I think we all know the answer to that. Take your bets now. I say it won't. What do you think? What do y'all think? I say it won't.
If it does, it's because I forgot to disconnect the brake line yet. That's alright, I'll try this first. And no. Alright.
Oh, it came off.
Of course. Because I forgot to do the brake line. Now I gotta put the bolt back in so I can get the brake line off.
Oh Lord.
Oh, this is perpetually. I do this every time I do brakes. At least I'm consistent.
Yes. Well, you are the guy that's got a rock and a green bean stuck in his soybean stuck in his cross member.
They're on opposite sides.
Yes.
I'm not letting them, plot against us. I forgot to get the anti-seize and the thread lock. I know, I'm probably insane doing both of them, but
yeah,
it works.
It works. Right. It keeps them healthy.
They tell you lefty loosey works better when you're not dyslexic. Because great, which way's right?
Well, sometimes you have to loosen to tighten. That is what you said, right?
It's true. And there starts the brake fluid. I'm going to put that there so it's dripping on that instead of splattering everywhere. And also, since it was missed, I had to disconnect the vacuum line I added to the four-wheel drive system that didn't fix anything. Yeah. Because the hubs aren't any good.
Seals and the hubs are gone. And there's apparently no rebuild kits or anything.
Not that I can find. I discovered that most of the companies that made aftermarket parts for this model of Kia Sportage either went out of business or quit making the parts around 2009 to 2012.
Like I said, I think you said it before, it's a miracle that you kept this thing on the road.
Wash my hands before too long because brake fluid eats up your skin. That's frightening. Yep. Boy, it holds a lot of fluid. There we go. I didn't expect it to have that much in that reservoir. Thank you. And a whole lot of black junk, which is not good things to be coming out of a cylinder. Like I said, they really want that back as a core. They're welcome to have it. They're getting the shoe too because I'm not breaking the weld. There's the inside shoe, which is always more alive than the outside shoe generally when these get done. But it has welded the scritcher to the wheel cylinder, so it's not coming off. They can have fun with that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. And you see all the metal that's welded off of this thing was bad. And that was only... It was only driven in this state for about 30 miles, and that's just what I had to drive to finish my job and get home. And being very careful and sparing with it. So, not even 30 miles, probably 15 miles.
Good Lord.
That piston is welded open. That's why it explains all the black stuff in the brake fluid in it. I've seen drum brakes fail catastrophically. I've had these things fail and throw shoes, and I've had them weld themselves open before, but this is by far the worst I've seen. Which is funny, this is my second brake thing on this channel, and this is worse than the one that caught fire. That cylinder was, that caliper was still within the realm of being able to rebuild in a garage. This one, it's dead.
I am gonna go ahead and say we could probably blame China, or as ex-President Trump called it, China.
Yeah.
China.
This was original equipment, so.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's where they got it from.
Who knows? I don't know. It worked okay.
Yeah, it's worked
it
for
failed
20 years.
catastrophically, and I have a feeling that no one ever changed the brakes on this thing. So these are probably the original.
Yeah.
The bad thing is they didn't. When I was working on this last year, this went downhill real fast because it was at the point where, yeah, those shoes could use replaced, and but not they have to be replaced, and it did that in about 3,000 miles. So, that's about the time after that.
Went for the point of it might be a good idea soon to catastrophic failure real quick.
I got the copper washer off.
Okay. Do we need that?
I might. I don't. They're not always in the kit with the new ones.
Or do you have like a tin in the back of the garage with 5,000 copper washers for no reason?
I save them if I don't have to use them again because you end up needing them at some point.
He's got a tin with 5,000 copper washers in the back of the garage somewhere.
No, it's got probably 10 or 12.
1,000.
Okay, this is like... I'm hoping those are removal points and not lock screws. The ones on the back end end up being... Can you hand me a couple paper towels more?
Yeah, sure.
End up being removal points for a removal tool, not for a lock screw, which I'm hoping that's the case because they're lock screws. This is going to be a nightmare. Alright, now the dead blow hammer time.
Stop. Hammer time. It's a perfectly good dad joke. You just walked right by.
I'm busy. Besides, you did it. What was there to add to it? Great. They are lock screws. Because there's no thread in that, so they're not for a tool. Hey! Korea is better than Italy in the fact that they don't use red Loctite on their lock screws.
Nice.
I will give this. I think this thing has been surprisingly easier to work on. And those lock screw points on the drum brakes. Let's see if I can get this off now. Ended up being more the fact that the shoe had welded itself shut. So.
Yeah, true.
Other thing I need to invest in is a slide hammer. At some point.
So this would be a good place to say subscribe so we can buy these things. Pretty please.
I just broke my dead blow. Well, lifetime warranty, Pittsburgh tool. I guess I'm taking this back to another one. The lock screw's let go, so this won't.
Oh Lord. You gotta take the hub off or something?
No, the hub isn't holding anything.
Alright.
It's just this rotor does not want to budge.
Figured I'd ask my dummy question for the day.
Alright, I'm getting a pry bar. A proper pry bar. I'll be back.
Alrighty.
It's trip number 14. I brought persuaders.
Hold them up so I can see them. There we go.
They're heavy.
So I guess I don't get to say the sledgehammer part of my old joke.
Probably not, because I got one. I'm taking the. Well, worst comes to worst, I need to break it off in pieces.
Yeah, you just. And here's where the Hallelujah Chorus plays.
Oh, that was kind of musical. I like how the only thing that wasn't badly corroded are the set screw holes.
Well, it's all just surface rust, though.
Yep, I'm going to clean it up before I put the new one on. But since I've got this out of the way, I'll take advantage of having this out of the way and start working on getting the suspension out. These boots are gone, but this is still not moving around, so I need all the new components, but they're solid, and that's going to be a nightmare. So
yeah,
I'm not going to fool with that right now, because that was another problem. I had an alignment done. Well, they couldn't center the steering wheel because this point will not adjust, and there's another point on the other side that will not adjust.
It's the exact same way.
Yep.
It literally looks, just by that piece there, was used as a boat anchor for a while.
Yeah, this thing's set, I know this thing's set up for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, and look. This is why it's leaning so bad. See this?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be up against here. And guess what? There's supposed to be a rubber bumper holding the body off of that. There's supposed to be a rubber bumper here and a rubber bumper here, and they're gone.
They ain't nothing. Absolutely no rubber.
Once upon a time, there was rubber. Am I tightening or loosening?
That's always the question on these when it's on its side. Lefty loosey, righty tighty works when there is a left and a right, but what if there's only up and down?
You know, I think up's going to be loose because that's typically the way it goes.
At least we're not trying to collapse springs and all that jazz, right?
Yep. That stuff is really dangerous and generally not worth doing. Not unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah. Or you absolutely know what the heck you're doing. Yeah.
I think I'm going to need to replace these lock washers. They're not too awful.
Okay. I was going to say, do you have to dig into your 10,000 copper washers to get?
No, I got to dig into the 20,000 lock washers I have.
Okay.
If I was just doing the brakes, I might have got this done today.
Yeah.
On the upside, everything that's leaking is not the boots.
That's true. Honestly, on the upside, it's gone pretty smoothly so far.
I guess if you call that smoothly.
Well, for us, that's smoothly.
And now I do trip number 15.
Alrighty.
Because I'm going to need a deep well 14 millimeter.
Alright.
Found the actual extension I needed. It was put up in the wrong spot. So, at least it was put up.
I have no comment about that.
I'm gonna have to buy new bolts. I know that.
Stripped it off?
No, not quite yet, but it's getting there. Enough that I'm not gonna use it to put it back on. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Now what are you doing?
Trying to get the wrench to let go of this side. So I can try to do the socket on this side.
This thing just eats things. Rocks, soybeans, wrenches. Your car gets hungry every once in a while.
Never had to use a crowbar to get a wrench to let go before.
Hopefully that was working.
It was.
And it just broke loose. Although he did nearly get beamed in the brain with that thing.
One more to go.
So you're saying the car has another chance to kill you?
Then I got the whole other side.
Which we may or may not get to today.
I don't even know if I'm going to finish this today. I've got to take half of this lower fork off that holds the strut on to get the strut off. And which means a large bolt, and I don't have a metric this size for it. Or a deep well. Yeah, there's just too much play. It's 15/16 almost, but that's all I have in 15/16, and yeah, it's not getting enough bite. It's going to slip. So I'm at that point in a project where I've got to buy more tools and some bolts and screws. So I guess I'm done for the day, other than cleanup.
Yeah, and we're not going to film cleanup.
I hope not.
Alrighty, and this will be the next day when you see this.
Yep, I reckon so.
Yeah.
Woo. I know it said something about not doing cleanup stuff, but good use. You get an old bread pan, like I said, you get an old pie pan for a catch basin, and an old bread pan for a tool collector. It's not good for bread anymore, because it's starting to rust, but it's great for holding bits and pieces.
Yeah. I think Red Green would be very proud of us.
Yep. I think you're right.
And if it doesn't frighten you that we want Red Green to be proud of us on our car projects, perhaps it should.
Most of them probably don't know who Red Green is.
Look them
up.
You're on YouTube, look them up.
So long.